What's up, Sisu Circle, and welcome back to another episode of Who's the Baby. On today's episode, I want to dive into the whole self-development process and the spiritual journey and talk about my path in this. And for a lot of people, I think the confusion is not knowing where to start. People get stuck in feeling like they've overcome enough already and they're kind of happy and steady with what they've been doing, but really we're never done. I really want to first and foremost put out there that this is not to feel better than or to put myself on a pedestal for knowing more. This is genuinely just my ride, my path, my steps of being in this life. And what I have truly come to know is you are never done. You're never done learning. You are never done expanding. That's been one of the most interesting things that I've learned is the more knowledge I gain about myself and self-awareness and self-development, the more I feel like just a beginner. And the more I feel like I'm starting a new beginning, or there's a new topic that I'm like, oh, hey, that's interesting. I want to learn more about that. And then I have to start over from the beginning and become a beginner again and do the thing and go through the whole process. One thing that I think is super awesome about that is that it forces you into humility. It forces you to remain in this novice space. It forces you to remain open and sort of playful, and learn because you want to, not necessarily because you have to. I know that a lot of us are falling into this as a means to an end, meaning that you are struggling and you are sort of at your wit's end and just needing change rather than wanting or choosing change. And that's okay. However you arrive here into this path forward into yourself is the right way for you. I just want you to know that there is no right or wrong way to do it. It's just you will arrive there eventually. The path will lead you there no matter how you go about it. It is this inevitable loop or circle or cycle that you have to come to terms with one way or another. So by choice or by force, you will get there. If you are feeling stuck or thinking that you might need some help and you're not quite sure how to start, I strongly encourage you to enlist the help of a coach. In being a life coach, I am able to help people with their goals. I am able to help people feel unstuck a little bit better about what they're doing, where they want to be, and help them how to get there. And the benefit about being a coach is that I'm not the expert in your life. You are the expert in your life. And I'm just here to help provide a space, provide a mirror, provide accountability, to be there as a teammate to help you achieve your goals. And even if you just need clarity on what those goals are, a life coach can be a huge support system, a huge advocate for you, even just an ear to listen while you are sorting through and gaining that clarity. Specifically in my work, I focus on moms who are dealing with the hustle and bustle of having small children in the home, busy working moms who have a lot going on and a lot on their plate. Try to help clarify, slow down, and get back to a place of where they feel moving in a direction that they are choosing, not out of necessity of what has to be done in the home. And then in turn, also helping the entire family unit, gaining the entire family unit to get on board. That's not all of my clientele, but that is who I target myself towards. It can be anyone who's too busy, even if too busy means in your mind. I was someone who was struggling a lot with that. I tried to busy myself to avoid sitting with myself, with my emotions, with my fears, with all of the things that come up with slowing down and feeling. So if that is you and if that resonates, I highly recommend going to my website. It's Sisu Coaching. That's SISU coaching.org. You can find me on Instagram. I would love to have you, and or any other coach that resonates with you. Mental health is hugely important, and I would love to have you be a part of getting back on track. So I guess I will go a little bit into my story and how I started my self-development journey. It really kind of started with a podcast that I listened to. I've always considered myself to be a deep thinker, a person who just sits and thought. I like deep conversation. I like deep interactions with people. It's just been a part of my personality forever. I've always been a person who questions why. That's just, I've done it since I was a very small child. In this self-healing, self-development journey, there is a lot of trust and faith and surrender that is required. And to be honest, that has been the most terrifying thing for me. Not knowing what's on the other side, not knowing where I'm going to end up, not knowing what I'm going to learn, even not knowing how I'm going to make money for myself. A lot of those fears do come out. And that's definitely something specifically with being a life coach and with being someone who their brand is themselves. I am the brand. I am putting myself out there. All of these things bubble up and sort of come to the surface. And there are all of these fears. There's all of these expectations. There's all of these old stories even that you've been running in your head that all bubble up and all come out. And it is basically like a mirror. Your job is to be a mirror for others. And when you are putting yourself out there at a professional level and doing so on the internet, that same space becomes a mirror for you. It is amazing to see the evolution of who I used to be, who I am now, but it also is very scary. And something that I want to talk about and encourage people is that just because it's hard and just because it's scary doesn't mean it isn't worth it. Doesn't mean it's not going to work out. We can't always believe the stories we tell. And if that is the worst case scenario, we also then have to imagine the best case scenario. And what might that look like? And then all the scenarios in between. It's not always up to us which version becomes the truth. And that is a major step forward in the surrender and in the faith of doing it anyway and doing it scared. That amazes me, the growth that I've seen within myself. I honestly, if you asked a childhood friend of mine, that would probably be something that they would say about my personality, is that, oh, she's fearless. She'll do anything. It is interesting now as an adult how I don't really even see that for myself. Only through this self-learning and self-development process that I would even consider claiming that as a quality that I present. Why do I say all this? I say all this to my clients, to potential clients, to anyone that is curious or looking or is feeling in their body that there is something amiss, that there is something that either they are lacking or that they feel needs a change and they're not quite sure what to do. The one thing that has genuinely helped me and changed the course of my life forever, honestly, is stop looking everywhere else. You've already looked there. You've already turned over every stone. You've already found every person that you think is gonna fill your gaps or seal the cracks up. It never happens anywhere else except from within yourself. And like I said, fear is a real thing. Totally get that. Fear of slowing down, fear of listening, fear of feeling, taking time. Those are all really real things that I've experienced myself. I can tell you now that those are the best things that I've ever done for myself in my self-development journey. Slowing down, taking time to notice, even the simplest things. One of my favorite things is having breakfast at the table and being able to look outside, and there's a big oak tree right outside my window, and just being able to watch that tree every morning, see the changes in the seasons, see the sky, see the clouds passing by. That is one of my favorite things to do every morning. More so than eat breakfast, really enjoy doing that. And what is that simple act doing for me? Not only is it a time to slow down, a time to notice, it's also a time to listen. Listen to my body. How do I feel right now? How much sleep did I get? Do I feel excited? Do I feel tired? Do I feel happy? Do I feel anything? Being able to just look out at the tree is hugely symbolic to me, especially being a tree. I regularly compare my existence to a tree in that it has roots, and the further the roots go down equates to my consciousness. The further my roots go down, the better I know myself, the more depth I have, the more capacity I have to grow, the more reach I have for resources. The trunk is the body, right? It's me. It's where the energy lives, where everything, the sort of highway that hustle and bustle. And then there's the branches that are reaching. That's my energy, my light, my vibes, if you will. And then the leaves are how I get my food, my enlightenment, my emotions, my expressions. I love that analogy. Trees go through seasons. Sometimes they are fruitful. Sometimes they are dormant. They're not dead. They are containing, taking that energy inward. They are expanding their roots, digging deeper into themselves. So they truly are a testament to the investment within. And then I also like watching the sky and what it's doing. I'm an air sign. I just like watching the wind and how it blows through the branches. But it's just a time for me to take a pause and think about my small existence and just how vast everything is and how grateful and thankful I am to be here and to be living this experience and living this existence to any capacity. And even the fact that I can acknowledge that I'm having this experience, I'm so grateful to acknowledge that. And I'm so grateful to feel how that feels in my body, have that knowing of just how small I am. That really is a great reminder for me that as much of this inner work and development and things that I'm learning, I also don't have to take things too seriously. I do have to have fun and find joy and play. It's okay to take risks and do silly things and make podcasts because I feel like it. It helps me think about time. It helps me think about that I get to choose what I want to do, that I get to live my day the way I want, even if there's things that I like, quote unquote, have to do. That's that little bit of time that I have for myself just to not really think about much else. That's been very beneficial to my mental health. If you're struggling, I see you. If you are in a place of feeling something, but you're not sure what it is, but it feels icky and yucky and gross, I hear you. Maybe start with a pause. Find something you can just look at, especially out in nature or just be out in nature. I think a lot of us say, I don't have the time. We all have the time. We just choose differently. And until you start making choices that prioritize yourself, your mental health, nothing will change. I am by no means done, by no means saying that I am the quote unquote expert. I am learning a lot. I love learning. And on this journey, I will continue to share everything that I'm experiencing so that maybe I'll reach somebody. Maybe somebody who needs to hear this will hear it. Maybe eventually someone might actually do something to help benefit themselves. I have really come to know what I'm here for. I'm here to help lift the collective, lift the awareness, the vibration, the frequency, if you will, of the collective. I know that I'm here to share. I know that I am a person who loves being connected, loves feeling other people and genuinely vibing. I know that not only am I supposed to be experiencing the depths of whatever I'm here for, but I'm also here to share. And for those of you who have been listening, thank you so much for being along for the ride. I am by no means done. If you are enjoying this content, thank you so much for listening. We'll see you on the other side. Cheers.